I'd like to talk a little bit about significant figures and how to truncate numbers and round numbers. And you're going to hear a lot more about this in MBB 165. But I just want to let you know the rules so that when I tell you how many significant figures I want, you're able to do it. So significant figures, what do I mean by that? So these are informative figures or digits, numbers. So it's not including, this is important, leading zeros. So what do I mean by that? If we've got this number like 0.0002, then all these zeros before the non-zero number, we call them leading zeros or trailing zeros. What do I mean by that? So if we got the number, I don't know, 1,500, then these zeros after the last non-zero number, we call those trailing zeros. So they don't count. So the significant figures in this number would be 1, and this would be 2 significant figures. Alright, so here are some numbers, all of which have 2 significant figures. So 53, 1, 2 numbers. And we've got this number 0.0053. So these are these trailing zeros I was just talking about. And then 1, 2 non-zero numbers that give us information. And how about something like 53,000? That's got these are leading zeros, these are trailing zeros, we call them. He's 53. And then we've got something like 5.3 times 10 to the minus 17. So that's 1, 2, and then all this is zeros that don't give us useful information. So all of these have 2 significant figures. There are a couple of things that make it a bit more, slightly more complicated cases. So for example, if I were to write 53,000 and then a decimal point at the end like that, so that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures, because the decimal point implies that we really know the measurement this accurately. So it's 53,000, not 53,001 or 52,999. Okay. So that's one rule you need to remember. And similar thing, if I was to write 53,000.0, so this is the important bit here, so that has 6 significant figures now. And what that means is that a 0 after the decimal point like that similarly implies that we really know the measurement this accurately. So it's 53,000.0, not 53,000.1 or something like that. So those are the rules there. So I might give you a number and tell you to give it with a particular number of significant figures. So for example, how about give, let's say, 53,247 to 2 significant figures. So these first 2 are the most important ones, that's 1, 2, and then we have to get rid of all of these. So we'd call that 53,000. But if we got this idea of rounding, so if we had 53,809, and we have to write that to 2 significant figures, here we count the first 3 and we get rid of these, but this 8 is more than 5. So this is nearly 54,000. So we change that 3 into a 4, move it up 1. So that's 54,000. And next week, I think you're going to hear from Professor Buller about there are different rules for rounding. So you may have learnt that if you've got 53,500, then that becomes 54,000. But some people think that propagates error. And the rule that you're going to hear from Professor Buller about rounding in the MBB 165 analysis session is the following. So a 5, you round up if the number before it is odd. So in this case we would round up, but you round down if the number before is even. So 53,809 would be 54,000 to two significant figures, but 52,809 would be 52,000 by this rule. But I'm not going to get too hung up on that. I wouldn't worry about it too much in this course.